नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतेरुत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। हरे कृष्ण। Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 19th is the last chapter of the first canto. And this shloka is also like only 3-4 more shlokas are remaining. So in that way we are almost on the end of first canto. Shlok number 36. Anyatha te avyakta darshanam naha katham nunam nitaram mriyamananam sansiddhasya vaniyasah अन्यथा ते अव्यक्तगतेः दर्शनं नः कथं नृणाम् नितरां म्रियमाणानां संसिद्धस्य वनीयसः। अन्यथा ते अव्यक्तगतेः दर्शनं नः कथं नृणाम् नितरां म्रियमाणानां संसिद्धस्य वनीयसः। अन्यथा ते व्यक्तगते दर्शनं नः कथं नृणाम् नितरां म्रियमाणानां संसिद्धस्य वनीयसः। Mataji's. Word to word meaning. Anyatha, otherwise. Te, your. Avyaktagatehe, of one whose movements are invisible. darshanam, meeting, naha, for us, katham, how, nunam, of the people, nitaram, specifically, mriyamananam, of those who are about to die, samsiddhasya, of one who is all perfect, vaniyasaha, voluntarily appearance. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Otherwise, without being inspired by Lord Krishna, how is it that you have voluntarily appeared here? Though you are moving incognito to common man and are not visible to us who are on the verge of death. Purport. The great sage Sukdev Goswami was certainly inspired by Lord Krishna to appear voluntarily before Maharaj Parikshit, the great devotee of the Lord, just to give him the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. One can achieve the nucleus of devotional service of the Lord by the mercy of the Supreme Master, by the mercy of the spiritual Master and the personality of Godhead. The spiritual Master is the manifested representative of the Lord to help one achieve ultimate success. One who is not authorized by the Lord cannot become a spiritual master. Srila Sukdev Goswami is an authorized spiritual master, and thus he was inspired by the Lord to appear before Maharaj Parikshit and instruct him in the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. One can achieve the ultimate success of going back to Godhead if he is favored by the Lord's sending his true representative. As soon as a true representative of the Lord is met by a devotee of the Lord, the devotee is assured a guarantee for going back to Godhead just after leaving present body. This, however, depends on the sincerity of the devotee himself. The Lord is seated in the heart of all living beings, and thus He knows very well the movements of all individual persons. As soon as the Lord finds that a particular soul is very eager to go back to Godhead, the Lord at once sends His bona fide representative. The sincere devotee is thus assured by the Lord of going back to Godhead. The conclusion is that to get the assistance and help of a bona fide spiritual master means to receive the direct help of the Lord Himself. Om Adnyan Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuron Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhescha Kripa Sindhuve Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining us in this Srimad Bhagavatam discussion. So this is, the title of the chapter is The Appearance of Sukadeva Goswami. Maharaj Parikshit, we all heard this story, but in 2 sentence summary, has been cursed to die in 7 days. He was sincere, he was expecting that to happen. That's the symptom or a behavior of a devotee, to observe his own faults and not expect excuse from the Supreme Lord, because I have performed bhakti for 20 years. So Krishna, you ought to excuse me. Some devotees, new devotees or immature devotees, they have that thought process, that because I have performed bhakti for 30 years, 20 years, 40 years, and I have performed an involuntary mistake, it was not a voluntary one, so I am qualified to be forgiven. Generally, at least I have such mentality. But the mentality which Maharaj Parikshit is showing us is, he is expecting, he is knowing that no, for sure, some undesired result will come to me, because I have put that snake around Shamik Rishi. So we can learn that. Certainly, there is a conflict here. One immature son of a Brahmana has cursed Maharaj Parikshit to die in 7 days, and to prepare for his leaving the body, which we all have to. If we are serious in practicing spiritual life, we should be dancing aesthetically in kirtan, yes. Honoring wonderful prasadam, yes. And hearing katha, doing Buddhism, yes. That is all wonderful and it has to be done. But at the same time, we have to prepare for the final moment as well. Both should go on. Many times we become so engrossed, which is wonderful, into dancing and everything, which is wonderful. But at the same time, we should be equally preparing for the final moment. And we should be ready. Spiritual life means to be ready to face the last 7 days. Because everyone will have that last week in his life. Last 7 days. So that is also an important part. May not be, you should be thinking of this in the first day of your coming to temple. But especially those who are coming to temple regularly and chanting a fixed number of rounds, ideally 16 rounds minimum, regularly, for at least 5-10 years, they can start thinking in those lines also. That I have to start preparing for my final journey. They should carry on with all their book decision, Harinam Sankirtan, DT worship, cooking, yatra management. That's a part of our important services. But while doing that, they should also be carefully observing or practicing or preparing for this last 7 days. The last 7 days, there are many instances here and there. So this is Maharaj Parikshit's last 7 days. So for that, one thing which we have to do in our life is to please Krishna. आत्मेंद्रिय प्रीतिवांछा तारे बोले काम, कृष्णेंद्रिय प्रीतिवांछा धरी प्रेम नाम, और अन्नाभिलाषिता शून्यम ज्ञान कर्म अनुकूल्य न कृष्णानुशीलनम. All these shlokas, sarvopadhi vinirmuktam, tatparat. All these shlokas says that the perfection of spiritual life, the purpose of spiritual life is to please Krishna. Few months back, I had taken one Srimad Bhagavatam class, which was like a seminar about offenses to devotees, and two points we considered: intentions and actions, and permutation combination of that. We consider. I won't go into the detail of that. So 6 offenses. There is one shloka also mentioned. what are the 6 offenses which can do? The first one is hanti, the biggest offense is to kill a devotee. Then nindanti, which we might be doing. At least I hope those of us sitting over here have not even thought of this first offense. What is that first offense? Hanti. Others, we might have been influenced sometimes. Sometimes we might have, without willing, we might have said, this devotee aise hi hai. Nindanti, we might have performed. But at least honestly myself, other 5 things I might have performed or I had performed. But इतना तो है कि कोई दूसरे को मारने की भी इच्छा अभी तक हुई नहीं. Hanti, that is like the biggest offense. Like some devotees, I should not say such language over here, but with knives and like, what do you call it? Putting the knives in another stomach, stabbing with swords and maybe some bombs also. So I know this is not happening. But the most severe offense is Hanti. Now there is a case study with us, in front of us. I just told of pleasing Krishna in our life. That is our purpose. Now there are 2 great devotees, or rather pure devotees, or advanced devotees. They are right there, putting their full energy and efforts and intelligence to kill each other. And still, they are pure devotees. Their full energy is just to kill each other. And the wonderful part is still both of them are pleasing Krishna. Abhi हमने सुना कि Hanti is the one of the worst offense. So here I am discussing because Maharaj Parikshit, here actually what happened is that Shrungi was not exactly a pure devotee like that. Maharaj Parikshit was. But now I am talking of a case to begin this whole discussion where 2 pure devotees are just like in today's days, both samne standing like they have bows, arrows or swords, whatever it may be. And they are actually from the bottom of their heart trying to kill each other. They are promised, I will kill. And the wonderful part is they are both pleasing Krishna. So that's the beauty, or that's the one way complexity to understand what exactly can please Krishna. We'll discuss that. What exactly can please Krishna? Most of you must have understood what I'm talking of. It's like Bhishma and Arjun. You all know. They are in the war. They are actually outright putting their full effort to kill. Bhishma's arrows had made the body of Krishna also bloodied. Whole body of Krishna was pierced with hundreds or at least something like that arrows of Bhishma. And Bhishma and Arjun were not like, okay, like I know Varaj Vihari Prabhu was sitting here. We had performed one drama in Ayodhya. Those of you who were there, they might remember. Of Ramayana. I don't know where Ram and Ravan, I don't know who I was. I think I was supposed to die. So that means I was Ravan and he was Ram. Now we appear differently. But anyway, I was Ravan. I was supposed to die. Yeah, something like that. So we are doing some shooting of arrows, but it was like out of love. Hari bol, this arrow I am shooting. But Arjun and Bhishma were not like that. They were putting their full efforts, actually, honestly, to kill each other. Destroy the Ratha, destroy the Sarthi, whatever it may be, what is needed to kill. They are not doing some natak showbaji. But if I am thoda careful, hari bol. So not that way. They are looking for the opportunity. Like sometimes 2 lions, tigers, they are fighting, looking for the opportunity. So they are honestly looking for the opportunity. That was their role. That was their seva. But the wonderful part is, in spite of that, both were pleasing Krishna completely. So, and ultimately, one devotee gets killed. That is Pitama Bhishma. Not instantly, but on his Sharshaya, and within few days, he leaves his body. So still both please Krishna. How is that? And what we can see, the maturity of the both the devotees. Sometimes devotees might have to do some things like that. Not like that. I hope we don't have to go to that extreme of killing someone. But sometimes we have to deal with devotees like yatra registrations are going on. And because some number of registrations have reached, they have started waiting list. So those are in waiting list may be a little unhappy. Maybe after some time, they may stop also waiting list. It's something like a railway reservation. So those who may, they may मेरे को आने का था, मैं late fee भरने को तैयार हूँ. So something like that may happen. So both of them are doing their duties. Those who are managing the yatra, they have to do duty of stopping the waiting list or stopping registration. And those who want to join in late, they have to find out all the proper possible ways how they can officially get in. And certainly both the actions are going to be conflicting. But it's okay. It will happen like that. In material world, it will happen like that. Sometimes book distribution in charge may say, I have given you the books, I already put up. एक बार बेचा गया सामान वापस लिया नहीं जाएगा. Something like that. And so conflicting interests of devotees' actions will happen, as they happened in the case of Bhishma and Arjun. The maturity is how the devotees are behaving after the actions of conflicting interests are over. Like I go to some book ground, Prabhuji, these books to be returned. No, it's already late and we don't take back the books, already notice is there. So I feel bad and I come out. I don't get to return the books. I feel little bad or sad. That's okay. Conflicting interests and actions of devotees. But how we feel after that? Here we see the whole war was over. The war started during Mokshada, Vaikuntha Ekadashi. That comes in generally in the latter part of December. And 18 days war, I think. 18 days? 18 days war. So I think January 2, 3, 4, approximately in our current calendar. And 14th January is Uttarayan. And after that, 8 days after that, approximately, because it is Tithi, it moves here and there. But 8 days after that comes Bhishmashtami, the day when Bhishma gave up his body. So we can say war ke baad around 15 days ka gap tha. See, to forget and forgive takes lot of time and effort. Someone just says something or doesn't smile at us, or something, just insignificant thing someone does, we need years to forget and forgive. Those who are not so mature in Krishna consciousness, they need years to forget and forgive. Let go. वो डिवोटी ने तब ऐसा किया था, क्या मेरे को गुलाब जाम नहीं दिया था, or something like that. We take years to forget and forgive. Here, Bhishma and Arjun were actually outright eager and like fully attacking each other to kill. And within 15 days, not immediately after the event of the war, like Bhishma fell down and Arjun started serving him with love and devotion by putting arrows for his head. And the moment, not only 15 days, sorry, I was wrong. The moment the war was over, Arjun and Bhishma are showing loving expressions for each other. So, दो में से हम नहीं सोच सकते क्योंकि हम वो लेवल पे नहीं है. दो में से एक तो नाटक होएगा. अरे आप भी दूसरे को देखो. Sorry, Gopinath is sitting in front of me. Suppose we are actually fighting to like wrestling match to kill each other. And next moment, Prabhuji, thoda mango juice le lo. At least we can't miss. Either my heart will be in that loving attitude, and फिर वो गला दबा रहा will be a नाटक, और my other heart will be मैं मारने का फुल प्रयत्न कर रहा हूँ और मैंगो जूस अभी बोला गया तो दूंगा पर मुंह में तो मेरे करेले का जूस का टेस्ट है और खाली. So I can't change my emotions so fast within few seconds. Either I have to do one natak. One is just natak of killing, or natak of हरी बोल प्रोजे टेक मैंगो जूस, उसमें कुछ जहर डाल के दे दूंगा. Something like that. I can't do both. But we see Bhishma and Arjun, they were actually fighting to kill each other, and the next moment they are serving each other with love and devotion. That is the maturity, or that is pure devotee. They did not move away from fighting. That's a complex question. Why did not? But they were put in that circumstance. Arjuna was put in that circumstance. Bhishma was put in that circumstance. And they did not move away from fighting. And immediately after Bhishma fell down, Arjuna started serving him with love and devotion. And Bhishma also wanted Arjuna to serve him. For me, it's a bit difficult to understand. Even I'm not on that level, to be honest. I cannot do both within a second's gap. एक तो नाटक होएगा करने का तो. I cannot have that both. Yeah, maybe after a year or two, or at least 15-20 days. Something like that. But so anyway, so we see that no malice, and that is the glory of pure devotional service. So this is the part I was telling we have to prepare for that last 7 days. And if we want to actually prepare for those last 7 days, we have to see that we achieve this consciousness as shown to us by Bhishma and Arjuna. The consciousness has two parts and both are very important. One is not moving away from their prescribed duty in a particular position to the extent of killing each other. And the second is not to keep any bad feelings or harbor any ill feelings the moment those prescribed duties in their Krishna consciousness are over. So it's tough, but there is no option other than taking this tough lesson. If our goal of Krishna consciousness is to achieve pure love of God, then there is no option then to take this tough lesson. So actually, in this whole event, we can learn another thing in the event of Maharaj Parikshit also. Both. I am discussing the event of Bhishma Arjuna, but it is equally applicable to Maharaj Parikshit's event that has just happened in Bhagavatam. So I am discussing this because it is applicable to that event also, although I have taken the case study of Bhishma Arjuna. So actually, what is happening behind the scenes in case of Bhishma Arjuna, Maharaj Parikshit? Tvameva mata pita tvameva sarvam whatever that bandhu tvameva mama deva. So we have to understand, in this world, Lord Krishna is the most loving father, mother, everyone. And when someone most loving, the closest one is like a mother in this world. Mother's emotions are most loving towards their offspring, son, daughter. Especially a small baby or even a grown-up person, he is very comfortable in the presence of mother. He is very happy. See, when a small baby is in the lap of a mother, he doesn't worry. Even if there is an atom bomb explosion, say 20-30 kilometers away, he is happy to be in his mother's lap. For him, that is the most joyful position. So he is also happy in his mother's lap. Anyway, so that is the most joyful position. He is not worrying. He is happy with his mother. He is not worrying. Bhagavatam class chal raha hai, kya chal raha hai. He is happy. He or she, whoever it may be. So the child is happy. So similarly, we see no one can steal our joyful Krishna consciousness, happy Krishna consciousness, if we can fully 24/7, 100% see the love of Krishna, 100% love of Krishna in our life, in all the situations. When we see the love of Krishna, even if there is atom bomb, even if there is something, we'll be overflowing with joy of Krishna. So that is Krishna consciousness. When Prabhupada said, chant and be happy, many of us feel, I am so much troubled and in anxiety and in unhappiness since I am chanting. It happens. Because I will discuss why it happens in the course of our class. Because Prabhupada has named our society, what is its name? ISKCON is a short form, let us go for the full form. International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So what we are missing is the consciousness. We are chanting, but we are missing consciousness. So when we miss the consciousness, we will be chanting but not happy. We will not understand Krishna's love, overflowing love in our life. See, when the overflowing loving mother is caressing us, cuddling us, no one can be unhappy in this life. It's just simply impossible. Similarly, when we understand Krishna, we understand every second in our life, whatever may be happening, I might be getting 50 lakh rupees or I might be losing 50 lakh rupees. But when we can see how that is the most loving expression and action of our most loving personality in this world, that is Lord Shri Krishna, then either losing 50 lakhs or gaining 50 lakhs or whatever it may be, that emotions are irrelevant to us when we see the Krishna's love. So, when we can understand this whole world in that way, it's not an imaginary way, actually that is the reality. That is Krishna's way to look at this world. That is the way Krishna is working in this world. When we can, that Prabhupada says, concentric circles. When our vision and Krishna's visions become concentric, no one can take us away from the highest joyful state of existence. And when our vision is from here and Krishna's vision is from here, nowadays on this WhatsApp or Google Guru, there are so many images that come, like somebody is walking, somebody is, what they are doing, a famous image, he's digging, and someone digs a lot, and then he goes away, hey, there is no diamond here. And then they show that he must have digged something more, and there is so many common WhatsApp images circulate. So not only we have to have faith, but we have to have understanding. So basically, when we understand Krishna's loving interference in every step of her life, like a loving mother, a devotee just cannot be unhappy in his life. Whatever may happen, he may get whatever, position, money, beauty, fame, or he may lose all of these things. He has to not see, he has to actually understand what a loving Krishna is doing this to me. And when that he understands, how can he be unhappy in any situation? That simply is possible. So, total happiness in Krishna consciousness is possible only when one is overwhelmed. One has to be overwhelmed by the love of Krishna and Guru in his life. Then the waves of this material world, they will be insignificant. It's just like the waves of this world are like tiny ripples, maybe in a bucket when we open the tap. And the waves of love of Krishna is like that big tsunami. So what are these ripples going to do in our life when the love of God's big tsunami is there? Not theoretically, but experience. So to move ahead, when we don't have the tsunami of love of God in our life, the ripples of material existence, even amongst devotees, existing among devotees, that ripples will trouble us. And then we'll blame the circumstances for our trouble or unhappiness. We'll blame, hey, I'm in Mumbai and because of this I am unhappy. Hey, I was in a train and that train got late by 20 hours, so I'm unhappy. Or whatever, oh, hey, I'm in this temple and this devotee, he is there, because of him I am. We'll blame everything, everyone, anything, anyone, whatever it may be. But the reality is, sometimes the devotees or circumstances around us, I have made this statement before in one class. The devotees or I have added the word circumstances also and devotees also. Around us may not be perfect. The devotees or circumstances around us may not be perfect, but they are perfectly placed by Lord Shri Krishna to make us perfect. That is Lord Krishna's loving present for you. ये circumstance ले लो, भगवान का शुद्ध प्रेम डेवलप करो. Like Maharaj Parikshit, getting cursed to die in a 7 days, is it a perfect situation to be in? No, absolutely not. For a meager apparent fault. Fault was there, but meager apparent fault. But Maharaj Parikshit was so joyful, he saw it from Krishna's point of view. Concentric circle, concentric vision. So, to see this is the reality in our life. And to see this reality will be possible only by humility. So, I am not trying to make a poem, but see this reality will be possible only when we have thorough humility. And so, we come back to Bhishma and Arjun. They are both hurting each other. They are making blood flow from each other's body. And still both they are pleasing. So main point is pleasing Krishna. So how to please Krishna? We don't have Krishna around us. Means we have Gopinath. We dress him nicely. Few of us can only do that. Most of us cannot. And even though we are dressing Gopinath or Gaur Nitai, it's difficult to actually know are we pleasing Krishna. We only say, अच्छा दिखता है बहुत अच्छा. तो हमको अच्छा दिख रहा है, कृष्ण को कैसे लग रहा है? Very difficult. Actually for Krishna, he may not be liking it. We don't know. We say, Prabhuji, Krishna is so beautiful. Yeah, he is. But that's as per us. So, very difficult. आज कृष्ण को 56 भोग दिया. What did I cook gulab jam and sweet rice and everything. But how do we know Krishna wants that? We should do that as a sadhana bhakti. I'm not saying we should not be doing it. The madhuram should continue, the bakery should continue, everything should continue. But how we know that, like Bhishma and Arjun both knew Krishna is pleased because Krishna blessed both of them afterwards. By Arjun giving him the knowledge via Krishna, via Bhishma, and to Bhishma by appearing in front of him at the time of his leaving the body. He blessed both of them. For us, so basically in Kali Yuga, we should try to please the devotees in general by our actions, service. And it's difficult to please all the devotees, always. So we should be more concerned of pleasing or satisfying or acting as per the instructions, advice of our authorities, whoever it may be. They may be junior to us. They may, like once His Holiness Radha Maharaj, authority in New Vrindavan, were not following even 4 regular principles for some period of time. But because they are in the authority position, he was doing as per their desire. So certainly till they tell us to do something very big wrong, that's a different thing. So is Kali Yuga to please all the difficulties is difficult, but we have to be very clear. First, we have to please the concerned devotees, authorities, and along with that, we should try to please the maximum devotees. Bhishma, he was criticized by so many. He was criticized by all people actually. Even Duryodhan criticized him. Bhishma was fighting for Duryodhan, and even Duryodhan criticized him. You are not fighting with full vigor. So Bhishma gave him 5 arrows. And unless Krishna would have not interfered, Bhishma would have killed them. So that was his determination. He was fighting with full vigor and determination to kill all the 5 Pandavas. Krishna interfered, that's a different story. But Bhishma's determination was clear. Kal marne ka hai pachu. So he was fighting. But still, Duryodhan was criticizing Bhishma. जिसके लिए मेहनत कर रहे हैं, वो ही आपकी निंदा कर रहे हैं. ऐसे होता है कभी जिंदगी में? होता है. भक्तों के संग में भी होता है. यहाँ पे भी हो रहा है. क्या करें? कलयुग है. This is Kali Yuga. So, the main point is to please Krishna by pleasing his devotees and generally and specifically the concerned authorities. In this material world, I will just discuss of this material world. In this material world, it's very complex and confusing. if we want to enjoy this world. Moghasha, Mogh Karmano, Mogh Jnana Vichetasa. And what? Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkha yoneva evate. This pleasure has a beginning and end. It is going to convert into pain. So when someone tries to enjoy in this world, it's very complex and confusing because it is not going to happen. So materialistic people are confused. The material world is more complex and confusing if you want to practice bhakti, because they are different nature. Bhakti is the nature of the soul and this world is the nature of the matter. And this material world becomes more complex and confusing if you want to practice bhakti in Kali Yuga, or more difficult. Purani Yuga mein thoda bahut to limit mein tha. And once His Holiness Radha Maharaj told in that book, Journey Home, if you know, once Radha Maharaj was performing tapasya and dhyan, he was only drinking whole day, sunrise to sunset dhyan. And for subsistence, one small gajar whole day. And one palmful or glass full of Ganga water. For 30 days that. For us, I don't know, anyone willing? I can sponsor a flight ticket to Haridwar. 30 days, only gajar, sunrise to sunset, tapasya. Difficult. Very difficult. But His Holiness Radha Maharaj's realization is, that is too easy compared to practicing bhakti in association of devotees. But still, he said, we have to go for this another option. Because that is the way to achieve bhakti. By doing tapasya like that in the center of Ganga for 1 month, we can be tapasvi, but we cannot achieve bhakti in the highest form. So, this material world is too complex to practice bhakti in Kali Yuga, and it is more so to do it in association of devotees. And more so, maybe when there are so many committees, this CM, that CM, this C, that COM, that C, it becomes more confusing. Sorry, this is just a, what do you call it, joke or humor, nothing seriousness to it. And so confusing. ये चाहिए प्रभु, अरे उसके लिए वहाँ पे मेल लिखो, ओके ठीक है, अरे पर इसके लिए इसमें ये है ना, तो वो उनको व्हाट्सएप करो. But there is no option. That's the way. But all this confusion will go away. Many of us can relate to what I am saying. So, yeah. But actually, all this is complex because this is material world. Sorry. All this is not complex because this is material world. Or because this is Kali Yuga. Or this is in association of devotees. The real problem is we have a complex mentality, which is affected by material world, which is affected by Kali Yuga. If we have a mentality that is consciousness, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. If you have the right consciousness, then the material world is like in the mud but not of the mud, something like that. So we ourselves are in the mud and within the mud, and we are blaming the mud, which we are part of. So what we should be trying to do is to raise our consciousness, rather than blaming the external things or circumstances or seasons or devotees or systems. We have to raise our consciousness. But, as I said, this path becomes clear when we surrender to devotees. Krishna guides us, instructs us through devotees. Srila Prabhupada practiced that. He took sannyas, his guru came into dream. One postman told him, why you are printing newspapers, print books? So like that, Krishna guides us in many ways. And especially through devotees. Because we have to stay with devotees. There is no option for that. And if we are, like if I am in a center of 20 people and Krishna wants to guide me, he has no other choice but to guide us through those 20 people. Advise us through those 20 people. So similarly, Krishna will guide us through 20 people or devotees, because we are in association of devotees and we have to stay in association of devotees. So only through that medium, the guidance and advice will come. But if we are not ready, with full of humility to understand, Prabhupada was, so he could understand the right guidance through the postman also, and so many things. So, and I would just like to add, there's another illusion coming up, Maya Devi's. We think I will take guidance of the devotees, but online from that devotee over in Australia, that devotee in Africa, that devotee. But what about devotees around you? No, Krishna is guiding only through them. No. Sorry, it's my personal opinion, which I tell to those who have some faith in my words. That if you have chance to listen a class, first listen a live class. It might be spoken by the most new devotee. That's my personal opinion. There can be some different opinions of others, but I'm just sharing my personal opinion. First, listen to the class of live class. Anyone speaking, because we have to Upanishad. Upanishad means, Upa means near and low, and Nishad means sit. When it's a when it's an online class, sometimes we are Upashayya, sometimes we are upper legs. Legs are up on a chair, and we are the consciousness. We are listening to Krishna Katha in a wrong consciousness. So wrong points. I'm not saying online is not useful or practical. My point was, if you have option, first preference is offline class. And in extra times, yes, you can go for. Abhi online hai, when in the previous days for us it was a recorded classes. It was either on cassettes or CDs. Same thing. Cassettes, CDs, kya tha wo? iPod, Kindle, what? All this, because in the front to front, we learn to develop a bit more of humility. And without that, the message will not be understood properly. So that's my personal advice. I said, even if, sorry, I'm going to the extreme case. Even if there is some guru or pure devotee speaking online, I would say first listen offline. Even if that devotee is giving class for the first time in his life. You can listen to that recording afterwards. I'm not saying don't listen. But because that offline classes have a more effect on the consciousness, that's my opinion. Somebody can have another, but that's my opinion. So moving ahead. So now here important point has come. Brahmande Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jiv. What is next? Guru Krishna Prasade Pae Bhakti Lata Bij. Correct, no? So that's what Prabhupada has said in the purport. And we think that's it. By Krishna's mercy we get Guru, and by Guru's mercy we get Krishna. And I am no initiated. So I got a Guru. But let's see, Prabhupada ने एक सुमड़ी में एक sentence डाल दिया. So let's see what Prabhupada says. Sorry, yeah. Just 1 minute. I would like to read Prabhupada's wording. Yeah. One can achieve ultimate success of going back to Godhead if he is favored by the Lord's. Lord ka favor mila hai. How does Lord favor? By sending his representative. So Krishna's mercy is sending a representative of Lord in your life. Yes. As soon as a true representative of the Lord is met by a devotee of the Lord. So as soon as a true representative of Lord is met by a devotee of the Lord, the devotee is assured a guarantee of going back home, back to Godhead, just after leaving this body. And we say, wonderful. We are assured. Prabhupada ने एक सेंटेंस सुमड़ी में अगला डाल दिया. नेक्स्ट सेंटेंस क्या है? ये तो हो गया. This, however, depends on the sincerity of the devotee himself. So, two stages are important. In mathematics, in my class 10, 12, there was something like, वही जो मैं भूल गया. आप मैथ्स क्या है? necessary and sufficient, not enough, something like that. Not enough, sufficient. So, getting a guru by Krishna's mercy is a necessary qualification, but not sufficient, because the sufficient Prabhupada said, we also have to be sincere. So, sincere means we have to absorb, try to elevate our consciousness. So, once we get the right mercy of Krishna in our life, no one can unsettle us from the joy of Krishna consciousness. Just 1 minute. So, this sincerity of ourself, I was saying in the beginning, we are chanting, doing arati, dressing, cooking, clean, all different types of sevas which we are doing. And we should be doing them. But we should also be thinking of on how I am developing my Krishna consciousness. So, I said a few months back, I had that class, Vaishnava Aparad, Intentions and Actions, Permutation, Combination. So, there can be another session like that, Vaishnava Actions with Intentions and combination. Action to hai. So, we might, that's what? Kya? Jnana Karmadi Anavrutam. Jnana Karmadi Anavrutam is for practicing Krishna conscious devotees. We might be chanting, dressing, singing, cooking, lecturing, preaching, book distributing, Harinam, Sankirtaning, a new term, whatever we call it. We are not doing anything. But if it is not Krishna conscious, then that's Krishna conscious actions, but that's not Krishna conscious. What I am trying to say, we are performing Krishna conscious actions for many, many years, but now we should also focus ourselves whether we are trying to become Krishna conscious. Otherwise, we will be frustrated. We will be confused. इतना साल भक्ति कर रहा हूं पर अनसेटिस्फाइड, क्योंकि आप भक्तिमय क्रिया कर रहे हैं, भक्तिमय चेतना का विकास के ऊपर ध्यान नहीं दिया. So yes, our actions should be Krishna conscious actions, but our consciousness should be also Krishna conscious. With that small point, I'll end today's class. So that's what Prabhupada said. Therefore, he named International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We see Bhishma and Arjun's actions were not Krishna conscious. Their actions were the worst type of Vaishnava aparad. What is that? Hanti. But their consciousness was Krishna conscious. So we should also understand in our sadhaka's life, our actions also should be Krishna conscious, unless they are specifically told to us otherwise by some advanced devotee and we are in some particular situation, like Turumangai Alvar or someone like that. His actions for that particular period of time was not Krishna conscious. He was stealing people's wealth. So that is a very different, unique situation. Most of us, we have to focus on our consciousness. At least after 5-10 years of our steady sadhana bhakti. Some earlier the better. So what's happening with most of us, or at least myself, we are doing Krishna conscious actions, maybe 100% or 90%. But we have lost the focus whether we are Krishna conscious. Krishna conscious means Tudadapi Sunichena Taroreva Sahishtuna. Krishna conscious means Anya Bhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavrutam. If we are desire, that man pratishtha, that what do we call it? Well, just 1 minute. We might be doing Krishna conscious actions, but we might be desiring position, fame, power, glorification. Then it's not Krishna conscious. Just I would like to end how one can be totally away from glories and like that. I would just like to share one personal interaction with His Grace. I am taking name because it's glorious. Madan Prabhu. Many years back, they had the Borili congregation or some mirror congregation performed that drama. I don't know, like Gopis. It was like mostly Gopis Vira Bhav, something. And in that drama, the first scene was a dance. I don't remember the wordings. But in that, Madhavan Prabhu's daughter has the lead role in that dance. So after I saw that, I did not saw the drama live, I saw it video. I called him for some other things. But while discussing, I just said, yes, Prabhuji, your daughter had done a wonderful role in that drama. Instantly, that is very beautiful. Without thinking, even a fraction of a second, his reaction was, yes, it came out nice. Yes, not that she did nice. She did, but it came out nice. Means no credit, absolutely. Prabhuji, wonderful class, a wonderful kirtan. The whole credit is being given to that the kirtan was wonderful because of Krishna's empowerment. So that is a natural consciousness of getting total, not at. So that is Krishna consciousness. That's just a small example. Instantly, without a second, not microseconds gap, he answered, yes, it came out nice. So he accepted the fact it was nice, but absolutely no credit to himself or his daughter also. It just came out nice. So I would just like to end with some small submission. We think we are nice devotee, or we are devotee because I am doing nice, wonderful lecture, preaching, book decision, Krishna conscious actions for past 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years. But are you doing them in Krishna consciousness? You are doing Krishna conscious actions, but are you doing them in Krishna consciousness? Is the important point. Otherwise, once Srila Prabhupada's statement is there, he says we might be doing Krishna Kirtan, but if we are enjoying it, it's Maya Kirtan. So Prabhupada made the same point. We are doing Krishna conscious actions of doing Harinam Kirtan, but if it's not Krishna conscious, in consciousness, it's Maya Kirtan. So with these few points, I know छोटे मोह काय लहान तोंडी मोठा घास आहे. Those who know Marathi, other language I don't know what it's called. Anything in other language? Rajajyoti Prabhu, Hindi, English. हाँ, छोटा मुंह बड़ी बात हिंदी में हो गया. English, anything? Whatever it may be. So I tried that in speaking all these lofty points, but in the end, I beg all of you to bless me that I can also become Krishna conscious while doing Krishna conscious actions. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It's already late, so any questions we can discuss personally afterwards. Hare Krishna.